We need to talk about the betrayal, about how the very party that claims to be the protector of democracy, the stewards of liberty and inclusion, became silent partners in the most chilling authoritarian project of our time. This isn't hyperbole. It's possewood. The purpose of a system is what it does. And the Democratic Party's function today is not to stop fascism. It's to anesthetize you while it tightens the restraints. Let's start with the lie. The liberal establishment tells you they're the firewall, that they're all that stands between you and Trump's dystopia. They'll show you footage of the Capitol riot, quote MLK, wear kente cloth, and maybe cry on TV. But when genocide is live streamed from Gaza, when Palestinian students are dragged from encampments by riot police, when Mahmoud Khalil is detained by ICE for leading a protest, the firewall doesn't just stay silent. It supplies the bricks. Chuck Schumer, the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in U.S. history, used the memory of the Holocaust not to condemn ethnic cleansing, but to defend it. In 2024, as Israel turned Gaza into rubble, Schumer doubled down, called student protests anti-Semitic, called calls for divestment extremist. When Colombia cracked down on its own students for daring to demand an end to apartheid, he cheered. When Mahmoud Khalil was thrown in a detention cell for the crime of speech, he looked away. That's not leadership. That's ideological complicity. And what about Hakeem Jeffries, the man poised to become the future of the party? He watched the same ICE raids. He read the same leaked memos. He saw the same evidence that Mahmoud Khalil's case was built on lies and manipulated surveillance. And he said nothing. He is a lawyer. He knows how state repression works. And still, he remained quiet, because silence is the currency of power in the Axis of Endarkenment. This isn't just about individuals. It's about the third way, Clinton's neoliberal doctrine that hollowed out the Democratic Party from the inside, that treated markets as sacrosanct and liberation as negotiable. Under the third way, structural inequality was no longer a moral crisis. It was just the invisible hand at work. War was humanitarian. Surveillance was safety. Zionism was progressivism. This is the doctrine that birthed Biden, that smothered Occupy, that gave Obama a Nobel Peace Prize while he droned wedding parties. It's also what makes the Democratic betrayal so hard to detect, because unlike the GOP's open embrace of strongman rule, the Democrats still perform Enlightenment. They say the right words, quote the right thinkers, invoke the Constitution. But their policies, their silence, serve the same function, and Enlightenment thought function is what matters. Let's go back to the fundamentals. The Enlightenment wasn't just a historical period. It was a philosophical rupture. It was the claim that reason must govern power, that individuals have inherent dignity, that truth is not owned by priests or kings or presidents, but discovered through inquiry and upheld through conscience. Every state that violates those principles betrays the Enlightenment. Every political party that enables that state has blood on its hands. Zionism in its modern state form is the antithesis of Enlightenment. It is blood and soil nationalism. It defines belonging by ethnicity. It denies rights based on ancestry. It elevates a chosen people by erasing the unchosen. That is not Judaism. That is not liberation. That is not justice. It is a reactionary ethno-nationalist project sustained by violence and justified by liberal illusions. And here's where the dissonance breaks, because you can't believe in human rights and support Zionism. You can't champion equality while bankrolling apartheid. You can't kneel in kente cloth and then fund the bombs falling on Rafah and Gaza City. The contradiction is no longer abstract. It is embodied in every Palestinian corpse, in every student arrested, in every whistleblower silenced. The Axis of Endarkenment doesn't just run through Moscow or Mar-a-Lago. It runs through Congress, through AIPAC donor lists, through Ivy League boardrooms, through every Democrat who condemns protest more loudly than genocide. The Enlightenment demands moral clarity, not moral posturing. And right now, clarity means calling this what it is: complicity, collaboration, cowardice dressed as centrism. You want to resist fascism? then stop expecting the people who built the soft infrastructure of fascism to dismantle it. It starts with truth, with clarity, with naming names. Because the future will not be saved by cowards in suits. It will be saved by the people who refuse to be lied to anymore. And we are done being lied to.